Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. It feels a little bit weird as we're gathering in this place and the normal musician providing prelude music is not providing prelude music. I thought it would be a wonderful statement to provide a prelude to your own musical experience for the night. We are really grateful to Thomas for this gift that he's offering us. In staff, we joked about what we could do to honor him, and when the suggestion was made, well, let's have a night of music and concert, and we said, yeah, that's exactly what you do with somebody who's leaving. So now you have to work to give us the gift when we want to come and honor you. There's a wonderful set of music that's lined up and prepared tonight. Some folks to share a little bit in reflection upon our time working with this wonderful man. But more than anything, just to invite you to open yourself up to the power of the Holy Spirit. I am convinced, just as every time we gather for Eucharist, something happens that's unexpected. Sometimes it's the tabernacle key, sometimes it's other things that are unexpected. But tonight, God has something in store for each of us. When you look at the incredible diversity of people who are gathered around here tonight, that says something about Thomas as a minister. A message that's able to speak to all people in all times. And tonight, we look forward to experiencing God's Spirit through him again.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. Like Father Rob said, we have lots of different types of music lined up tonight. We've got some slides ready to go. Amy? I lost Amy for a second, and so when Father Rob started talking, I was very concerned. But Amy's got some slides ready to go, so feel free to sing along, to just kind of lay back and listen, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Christ in me, arise and dispel all the darkness. Christ in me, arise with your power and your strength. Christ in me, pour out your blessing. Christ in me, arise, and I shall rise with you. Be now my vision, open these eyes, showing me all that I must see. Onward to the kingdom, you are the way. Arise in me, and I shall rise with you. Christ in me, arise and dispel all the darkness. Christ in me, arise with your power and your strength. Christ in me, pour out your blessing and healing. Christ in me, arise, and I shall rise with you. Be now my footsteps, leading the way, taking me where I must go. Onward to the kingdom, you are the way. Arise in me, and I shall rise with you. Christ in me, arise and dispel all the darkness. Christ in me, arise with your power and your strength. Christ in me, pour out your blessing and healing. Christ in me, arise and dispel all the darkness. Christ in me, arise with your power and your strength. Christ in me, pour out your blessing and healing. Christ in me, arise. Christ in me, arise. Christ in me, arise, and I shall rise with you. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. God has made a vow to us, a promise to us here. He forever walks with us and makes us strong. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Blessed you who know the Lord and walk amid his light and rejoice to hear his name. We are made strong. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing the goodness of the Lord. Forever will I sing. I think the thing I missed most during COVID was the sound of all of us singing together. So it's so beautiful. I figure if I got to work tonight, you got to work too. Awesome. We're going to have one more song, and then we're going to have a surprise guest speaker. And the guest speaker is such a surprise that even I don't know who it is. I was told that there would be two, and then I would get to assign the last one. So if you have nice things to say about me, just start thinking about them now. I think it's going to be Daisy, though. I think I'm going to... Yeah, in Spanish, and then she can say whatever about me. And only a few people. And then Sandra will tell me later what she actually said. water you turned into wine. Open the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. None like you. Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we'll rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Let's sing that again. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Oh, our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? Oh, what could stand against? What could stand against? Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God.
I can't believe he said yes to letting us pick whoever he wanted to be speakers tonight. The first speaker that we want to introduce, many of you know her voice and her face from the office, Sandra Losa. And if she makes reference to this, I'm sorry for spoiling it ahead of time. But I always knew we were in for a long day when I came into the office in the morning, and they were sitting there together, and Sandra would say, TQ and I have been talking, or he would say to me, Sandra and I have been talking, which translates to, there's a lot of work for you left today. So we invite Sandra to come forward to reflect on her experience of Thomas.
Don't worry, TQ. I tried to keep it short and simple. One of my first liturgical experiences at the Newman Center after moving from Gillette included the Misa Santa Fe Mass setting, followed by Pan de Vida as the communion hymn. I remember feeling so overwhelmed with joy that the only way I could respond was by silently crying in the pew. I am convinced that this was the moment that I knew the Newman Center was home. I also knew at that moment that Thomas truly cared, that he was thoughtful and intentional with music choices to suit the needs of our community. He facilitated for us to be in communion with one another, and thus also in communion with Christ through music. Soon after that Mass, I began my work as the administrative assistant. I was not sure how my personality would fit in with the rest of the staff, but once again, Thomas made me feel right at home. During my first summer, and let's be honest, every year after that, at the Newman Center, there were many long morning sessions where Thomas and I discussed numerous topics. Some important, others not as much. For example, he shared his love for baseball, a sport I knew nothing about, and I shared my love for Chicano film. We highlighted songs from Floricanto to use for Misa en Español. He even helped me write a letter to Bishop Stephen, urging him to support DACA recipients. Those deep morning conversations provided opportunities for brainstorming, which usually led to conversations that started with, Father Rob, Thomas and I were talking, or Father Rob, Sandra and I were thinking, resulting in more work. And so, Father Rob slowly began to dread the morning Thomas and Sandra conversations. In addition to our daily conversations, another favorite memory with TQ was when we attended a Rockies game with the staff, my first ever baseball game. By then, I already had some knowledge of baseball, thanks to Thomas, but still not enough to know how the game worked. Thomas made sure I sat next to him so he could give me a play-by-play of the game. It turned out to be a great game. The Rockies hit many consecutive home runs, and I learned a little more about baseball. Above all, Thomas is a great pastoral minister. I, opposite of Thomas, was not gifted with musical talent. Some of us might feel self-conscious about singing at Mass because we may not have the gift of a beautiful voice. However, the music ministry at St. Paul's Newman Center reminds us every weekend that our voice is the one God designed for us, thanks to the leadership of Thomas. Every weekend, as the assembly gathers, everything is ready and the community enters the parish into a welcoming, well-prepared, and peaceful environment. During Mass, we are encouraged to be full, conscious, and active participants of the assembly through music. His work with college students has made many personal connections to our church community and beyond, building bridges and becoming bridges to one another. Our liturgies speak through the diversity of the community that is gathered and does not speak at us or to us. And Thomas models this truth of our liturgy by his actions during and after our liturgical celebrations. Thomas, the Hispanic community is so grateful for your willingness to minister to us. For welcoming, listening, and accepting us, and allowing us to be ourselves in this parish. Thank you for being fully present and making our liturgical experiences visible to the life of the church. These deep personal experiences through your ministry have provided a space for many to live in full communion with the body of Christ. Chelsea, thank you so much for sharing your time with Thomas with us. I know it must be hard. Que Dios los bendiga. May God bless you. We will miss you all very much.
Man, I gotta follow that. So in addition to an instrument change, there was going to be a costume change. But Chelsea said no. Someone over there is very happy about that. I wasn't gonna do it here. It's kind of like going in the back or something. All right. This next set is supposed to be 3 songs, but it's going to be 4 songs. So the speaker, I guess, can come up whenever they want. They just may have to compete with me if they want to come up after 3 songs. This song, I distinctly remember because I found it maybe like my 3rd or 4th week at the Newman Center. And Amy, who is our current music ministry intern, loves this song. This is one of her absolute favorites. And she promised me she wasn't going to cry. And she's sitting right there, so I'll know if she lied. You are all I am not. Oh, you are all that I am. Break down these walls, take all my brokenness, rebuild me to shelter your name. You are all I am not. Oh, you are all that I am. Break down these walls, take all my brokenness, rebuild me to shelter your name. Help me forgive myself. Help me to lift the cross I've laid upon my soul. Help me to look at myself through your eyes, to see all that I am and still be satisfied. Help me forgive myself. You are all I am not. Oh, you are all that I am. Break down these walls, take all my brokenness, rebuild me to shelter your name. I think the reason I like this song so much is so often in our music we're asking God to forgive us, forgetting that God's love is already there for us. And this song just asks us to see ourselves as God sees us, as already beloved, already forgiven. Let's sing that refrain again. You are all I am not. Oh, you are all that I am. Jesus, break down these walls, take all my brokenness, rebuild me to shelter your name. Within my secrets, Jesus, there you reside. And I need you to reconcile, to renew all that's inside. For if I want to love you, then with your love, Jesus, I must love myself humbly too. Oh Lord, you are all I am not. Take all my brokenness, rebuild me to shelter your name. You are all I am not. Oh, you are all that I am. Jesus, break down these walls. Take all my brokenness, rebuild me to shelter your name. You are all I am not. Oh, you are all that I am. Break down these walls. Take all my brokenness, rebuild me to shelter your name. Don't worry, this isn't the overdrive pedal. This just turns my pages for me. The King shall come when morning dawns and light triumphant breaks. When beauty gilds the eastern hills and life to joy awakes. Not as of old, a little child to bear and fight and die, but crowned with glory like the sun that lights the morning sky. Oh, brighter than the rising morn when he victorious rose and left the lonesome place of death, despite the rage of foes. Oh, brighter than that glorious morn shall this fair morning be, when Christ our King in beauty comes, and we his face shall see. The King shall come when morning dawns and light and beauty brings. Hail Christ the Lord, thy people pray. Come quickly, King of kings. Come quickly, King of kings. The King shall come when morning dawns and light triumphant breaks. Like Sandra said, one of the greatest gifts that I've been given in my time here is the opportunity to learn like a whole new set of music. I think it was maybe even like the first weekend, Father Rob and I were sitting in his office and he said, you know what we ought to do is we ought to incorporate more bilingual and Spanish music into our Sunday liturgies. And I said, that's great, because Father Rob speaks excellent Spanish, and I speak almost no Spanish. And so I spent a lot of time just kind of digging through books and finding new songs, and some of these songs have become some of my absolute favorites. And this next one, we got the opportunity to go around the state on a series of workshops with this guy named Santiago Fernandez, who is an absolute character. Santiago ate 3 times his body weight, I think, in food on the trip. It was always, when are we gonna eat? And if any of you know, driving all the way around Wyoming, the answer was usually 4 hours from now. And he was very rarely happy with that answer. I remember we left Rock Springs, headed to Jackson. That was the one. And not only could he not eat, but he didn't have cell phone service. And so he was waiting on a very important call, and we said, well, you're going to keep waiting. But maybe the best thing about that trip was we had talked to him all about the wildlife, about all the wildlife, the deer and the bears and everything. We didn't see anything. I mean, not even a prairie dog, nothing the whole time. And so Santiago, I'm pretty sure, is still convinced that there is no wildlife in all of Yellowstone. Not a single solitary thing. But this is one of his songs. The title is Señor Quiero Servirte, which means, Lord, I want to serve you. And it's a beautiful song. The song really is about Mary saying yes to God. The way that Mary said, everything that I am, everything that I want for my life belongs to you. And so even if you don't understand the lyrics, just take a minute, close your eyes, and just listen to this. It's a really, really gorgeous song. And I'm going to sing it real good, too. Señor, te vengo a entregar mi risa, mi llorar, mi gozo y mi dolor. Ven y lléname de ti, tu fuego hazme sentir, envuélveme en tu amor. Fortaléceme, ilumíname, en tu nombre envíame, Señor mi Dios. Señor, quiero servirte, Señor, aquí estoy, mi vida hoy te entrego, mi corazón te doy. Nuestro ejemplo a seguir, María dijo sí, contigo siempre fiel. Hoy postrado ante tus pies, te doy mi pequeñez, como ella quiero ser. Fortaléceme, ilumíname, en tu nombre envíame, Señor mi Dios. Señor, quiero servirte, Señor, aquí estoy, mi vida hoy te entrego, mi corazón te doy. Señor, quiero servirte, Señor, aquí estoy, mi vida hoy te entrego, mi corazón te doy, mi vida hoy te entrego, mi corazón te doy. Say again, Bill. I lied to you? Look, I can fake the sounds real good. I can speak real good church Spanish. That's what I found, is that I can talk a lot about church, but anytime I have to talk about anything outside of that, I'm like, ¿en la iglesia? Sí. I got really good at saying, Sandra no está aquí hoy. Pero en la mañana, Sandra está aquí. They have been saying all our plans are empty. They have been saying, where is their God now? Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. They have been saying, no one will remember. They have been saying, power rules the world. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. They have been saying, no one hears the singing. They have been saying, all our strength is gone. Oh, roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. All who thirst shall taste the water. All the blind shall find their way. All the dead that now surrounds us falls apart as if to say, roll. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Oh, roll away the stone. They have been saying, all of us are dying. They have been saying, all of us are dead. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Oh, roll away the stone. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Oh, roll away the stone. Roll away the stone. See the glory of God. Roll away the stone.
We were going to have a segment called Seasons of Thomas, different decades of his life. You might not realize what a challenge it can be to assume a position where now you are coordinating, conducting, and leading the very people who used to be your professors at the university. It's a great privilege to welcome Dr. Belser, Bob Belser, and Myra Belser here to share some of their experience of Thomas.
Well, I first knew Tom as an all-state trombonist and from my visits to East High School. Played for me in Wind Symphony, Municipal Band, and then he left us to go achieve his bachelor in elementary education. We were really pleased when he became an intern for Maggie, particularly of his success in teaching her quite efficiently. It was then we came to know his incredible piano skills, both in reading music and in improvising. We particularly enjoyed the faces he made when hitting a clunker. But those are now few and far between, or at least he's perfected the art of making a wrong note into an elaborate passage into a new key before returning to what should have been played.
TQ developed his own cues for musical terminology. And all the years that you've probably seen him doing these things, I thought maybe I explained what all those meant, so you had an idea. Okay, so there's this. Okay, that means everybody sings parts. And then versus this means everybody sings a melody. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. I hope I do you justice. And that usually meant to stop singing. And this look, okay, that one meant get ready to sing, or somebody please look at me. Okay, there's just a couple others. This one, that means from the top, or that means verse 1, or this, that either means verse 2 or peace. And there were times when he'd make these faces and contortions, and we had no idea what he wanted us to do, and we'd kind of look at each other and say, what does he mean? And it's like, who's to say?
We were thrilled to have him become director of music, even though some of his early rehearsals with adults tended to reflect his elementary ed classroom ambiances, including some of his SpongeBob SquarePants-ish humor that made us shake our heads. Thankfully, both rehearsal techniques and humor have matured gracefully, though we've still grown at his jokes. We're also very impressed with his liturgical leadership. The rites, the reasons we do things, the spiritualness with which he just devoured that information and then brought it to us in rehearsals and services has truly enriched our faith. And we all have stated that we'll miss deeply the pre-Mass prayers he offered back in the sacristy.
You know, one of the things I'll miss most about TQ is his incredible patience. We are music ministers for the 8:30 liturgy, meaning that we have to be here at 7:30 to rehearse. And we minister with two very good friends. So, of course, we hear and we start chit-chatting about the week, and we're wide awake because we're old, and Tom's there with his coffee going. But he also is very patient when one of us, because we can't see without our glasses, had to run home and get our reading glasses. But there was one story that I'd like to share, and I felt a little bit guilty after thinking about this over the years. But one Triduum, I decided to do the 48-hour fast. And so that's from Thursday until Saturday. And so we have a rehearsal on Saturday afternoon after 36 hours of no food. And I remember going into that rehearsal being very hangry. And I kept missing notes and entrances and cutoffs. And TQ called me on it. And I was just going, I was just so angry at him. And he was so patient and kind and just professional and just kept going on with the rehearsal as I was like shooting daggers of fire in his direction. And I always felt a little bit guilty, but he always showed that characteristic of being so professional and so very, very patient. And that's something I truly admire about him.
Personally, he's been amazing in his service at St. Paul's Newman Center. I do need to warn him that paybacks are coming when he least expects it. During the rehearsal for Caitlin and Alex's wedding, as I entered with Caitlin, a march style of Amazing Grace, which is a good tune that I don't care much for since I've heard it done poorly so many times, came gushing forth from the piano. In that vein, I offered a little payback and a refrain based upon a song that you similarly do not like to ever hear again. TQ in music ministry has made us sing well and not off key. Now off to Baylor and then the Holy See, the Lord of Song of St. P.N.C. In closing, nothing makes an educator more proud than to see a talented student take their skills and not just be successful, but elevated beyond expectations. TQ, you've done so in moving beyond a student to a colleague and now a friend. And with that in mind, in my eyes, your only fault is you still won't call me Bob.
Alex Carter married Caitlin Belser. And he and I used to go round and round about when we would be able to call him Bob. And I think I will be dead in my grave. I'll write it on my tombstone or something. That might be the only time that I'm comfortable with that. That goes for you two over there as well. And I'd just like to defend myself a little. My jokes are wonderful. And I believe I learned a couple of them from Dr. Belser. So that's all I have to say about that. Is that my jokes are great, except for when I forget to put the wrong emphasis on the correct syllable. That's a joke that he made 8 or 10 times during the Wind Symphony during the year, and we laughed every single time. Aiden would make his patented noise from the back. This next set, I just wanted to pull some of my favorite songs out of the hymnal that we don't do very much. They don't often fit into our liturgical celebrations, but these next 3 are certainly the 3 that will be played at my funeral someday. They're on the list. Every music minister has the list in their drawer of the music that they want played at their funeral. Chelsea? Huh? Or that they don't want. Absolutely. Although, as my dad likes to say, I'll be dead. I don't care what you sing at my funeral. And so these next 3 songs are just my favorite songs out of the hymnal. Oh God, you search me and you know me. All my thoughts lie open to your gaze. When I walk or lie down, you are before me, ever the maker and keeper of my days. You know my resting and my rising. You discern my purpose from afar, and with love everlasting you beseech me. In every moment of life or death you are. Before a word is on my tongue, Lord, you have known its meaning through and through. You are with me beyond my understanding, God of my present, my past and future too. Although your spirit is upon me, still I search for shelter from your light. There is nowhere on earth I can escape you. Even the darkness is radiant in your sight. For you created me and shaped me, gave me life within my mother's womb. For the wonder of who I am, I praise you. Safe in your hands, all creation is made new. Oh God, you search me and you know me. All my thoughts lie open to your gaze. When I walk or lie down, you are before me, ever the maker and keeper of my day. Oh God, you search me and you know me. Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too. We are pilgrims on a journey. We are travelers on the road. We are here to help each other walk the mile and bear the load. I will hold the Christ light for you in the night time of your fear. I will hold my hand out to you, speak the peace you long to hear. Oh, I will weep when you are weeping. When you laugh, I'll laugh with you. I will share your joy and sorrow till we've seen this journey through. When we sing to God in heaven, we shall find such harmony, born of all we've known together, of Christ's love and agony. Oh, will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too. This is is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. This is my prayer, O Lord of all earth's kingdoms. Thy kingdom come, on earth thy will be done. Let Christ be lifted up till all shall serve him, and hearts united learn to live as one. Oh, hear my prayer, thou God of all the nations. Myself I give thee, let thy will be done.
There's no doubt that God's Holy Spirit was the greatest factor in bringing Thomas into the position of Director of Pastoral Music and Liturgy. To us, we're used to that term, Director of Pastoral Music. I don't know any other place that uses that expression. And it's done by design, and Sandra already referred to what that means. It means his task here has not simply been to produce excellent music, but to be a part of pastoring, a part of leading this community. I think I knew about Tom long before he knew about me. See, he grew up in Cheyenne at Holy Trinity, and my best friend was there for a number of years involved in the music department. The person that he was dating at that time, still very good friends of us, but were the main leaders of music, and they experienced Tom growing up as a young person. And Sean, my friend, used to tell me, you've got to get to know this guy over at Holy Trinity. And I'm like, yeah. I wished I would have done that many years earlier. When he came on board as an intern, it was an interesting summer that was spent. He decided to do it a little all natural and headed out to Kurt Gowdy State Park for a whole summer, camping out there and coming in here to help with music on the weekends. He'd gone away, as Dr. Belser already recognized, as a student teacher to Sheridan for that spring semester. And that was the semester when Maggie announced that she would be heading off to graduate school. At that time, we had no idea what we were going to do. How could we possibly replace her? Where would we find someone? And then, on a crazy day, Thomas had come down for interviews. He was all ready to sign on the dotted line with the Alaska School District. Signing bonus, guaranteed paycheck. This was where he was going to go. He came into the office for one last farewell, and Maggie and I both happened to be sitting there in the main office, and as he walked in and sat down, I don't know why we hadn't thought about this before, but I just looked at her, and she just went like this, and I said, Thomas, when you're done here, I think you need to come into my office for a little while. So he came into the office, and I said, well, I think God has clearly spoken in this moment, and that it is time for you to say yes to being the director of music here at St. Paul's Newman Center. Yeah. So just wait till it happens to the next one of you. And to our great benefit, he decided to say yes. There is no way at that moment I could have known the gift that we would be receiving. Again, Bob had mentioned Thomas's desire to learn, to grow. I kept giving him one church document after another that would put most of us to sleep within 5 minutes, and he kept reading it and asking questions and wanting to understand. That gift of teaching, I should have known, as somebody who was studying education, has been the single greatest addition to being an excellent musician here. Sandra referred to the way that you've helped form our college students. I have been amazed at Thomas's willingness to provide private lessons to vocalists, to instrumentalists. The way during rehearsals and setting up for Mass, he's always asking them to know why we're doing what we're doing, not just to go through the motions. The students, in addition to those of us who are residents, but the students in particular, who've had the opportunity to work with Tom, have received an education that they will never again encounter in their lifetime. And we pray simply that they're able to take some of that with them. You've already heard a little bit about the adventure with Santiago Fernandez. It was a week when he decided to go around the entire state of Wyoming, stopping at each place to provide a noche de alabanza y formación, a night of praise and formation with musicians and other liturgical ministers. It started in Cheyenne, which was great because Father Carl is the pastor there, so everything was set up and ready to go. No problem. Next stop, Rock Springs, Wyoming. We were a little bit late getting into there because 3 of them happened to be at lunch and lost track of time. So anyway, we show up to the church where we're supposed to be. There's a rosary going on inside. And so we're like, no problem, we'll wait. That whole week was an adventure in how fast can we possibly get things set up and ready to go. But my favorite stop, without a doubt, was Worland, Wyoming. Now, by this time, Santiago had had some good nights of sleep. He'd adjusted from jet lag, and we finished our evening in Worland. We are dead tired, and Santiago wants to go out. You've been to Worland in the middle of the week. You know what options there are and which ones there are not. There was only one place that was open besides McDonald's at that hour of night. So it really was the story of a priest, a music minister, and a Mexican walking to a bar one night. We're sitting there, smoke-filled room, the only place open, and the bartender's just chatting away, and she asks us where we're from. We must have mentioned that we had just gotten in from Jackson. She says, oh, you're from Jackson. No. Tom's like, well, Laramie, Cheyenne, Casper, Mexico. So what are you guys doing? I'm not sure we're going to be able to explain this real well at this point in time. But the way the next event of the evening was the most fun. In the corner, there was a rickety, upright, honky-tonk piano and an old beater guitar whose strings hadn't been changed in at least a decade. And the next thing you know, Thomas is at the piano, Santiago's on the guitar, and their encyclopedic memory for every song ever written is on display here. As we move from Neil Diamond to Garth Brooks to songs in Spanish, the bartender's got her phone out like, you are not going to believe what just happened in Worland, Wyoming. I don't think there's anything that you've ever said no to, which has been its greatest blessing and probably also its greatest curse. As we continue to push Thomas's talents further and further, to discover it just seems that we've not been able to encounter one thing yet that he hasn't been able to do. We joke about this ability to sing well in Spanish. When we had the Southwest Liturgical Conference in Cheyenne, he was one of the singers and one of the cantors. And as soon as we finished, of course, everyone is up there speaking with him in Spanish, and the look on his face is, I just sing it, man. Sandra thanked you, Chelsea, but there's really no way to express the gratitude from this community. As you know, being involved in parish ministry, but particularly liturgical music, it's a weekend gig. And when your spouse works a normal, regular job from Monday through Friday, it can make things incredibly difficult. It also makes it difficult when someone says, hey, we're going to take your husband on a 6-day trip around the state, or calls and says, we have a funeral in Powell. Can you be there in 2 days? No problem. Thank you for your sacrifice. And I hope it was at least a little fun making music with us along the way. So I really do think we need to give Chelsea a round of applause tonight. There's been no finer. One of the biggest worries I have, when Father Roger was here, he used to talk about being at St. Paul's Newman Center as the apex of his career. I'm not sure that we're ever going to find somebody with the amazing talents, the wonderful skills, but most importantly, the caring and loving heart that you've brought to this community. You could be the most talented musician on the planet, and without a desire to love, to know people, and to be in relationship, it wouldn't matter one bit. So we are looking for a good musician, but we're looking for someone with the capacity to love in at least the fraction of the way you've loved and cared for us. Thomas, thank you.
No, don't go away. It's your turn now. Oh, we needed the music.
I know, I'm not like you.
All right, this is our last set. Thank you again for coming. It's been such a blessing for me. I really do mean it when I think Maggie was the one who first said it to me, that the most beautiful sound that she can imagine is just the sound of the assembly singing at Mass. And it's been such a blessing to have that back, even for this little short time. Singing by myself is actually not one of my favorite activities. It's why I love choir so much. I can be part of a group. And so during COVID, it was really difficult. I did not find myself enjoying the music making as much. And so tonight, to just hear you all raising your voices in praise has been so wonderful for me, such a wonderful experience. I could speech all night about how the ways, speech. You heard me, Joe. About the ways in which this community has formed and shaped me. I left music education and I thought I was done with music, and came to this place, which showed me that there's a way to love and care no matter what you are doing with your time and talent, and that as long as you do that with a loving and generous heart, it will be worth it. There are a lot of people who I'd like to thank he keeps putting his hands on the piano. He thinks I'm done. There are a lot of people I'd like to thank through my time here. The staff of St. Paul's, everybody who is on staff. Lindsay, who's not here right now, but who taught me to care intentionally for not just those I see in my immediate environment, but to have a heart for those who I don't get to see every day, for the people who are without homes, or the people who are infected by environmental concerns. To Sandy Gaddis for always being my work mom, making sure that I had my office clean, or at least reminding me that it should be clean. For carrying the institutional memory of St. Paul's Newman Center, so when I didn't know where something was and I needed to find it, Sandy could almost always point me in the right direction. Myra, for always having a wonderful laugh for me, even when the jokes were not good, when I walked into the office. Asia, who was our accountant for just such a brief period of time, but really showed me such joy in her family. Devin, who has been a wonderful friend, even in this brief period of time. Sandra, of course, our long talks in the office in the morning. I am a morning person. I do not believe that she is. And so the talks were a little more one-sided than I think she let on. Lily, of course, for a wonderful example of what it means to just be intentional in every facet of your life, to live a life with intention, a life with an intention to love and to direct that love at the people you need the most. Julia Cathy, who put up with being my intern for far too long, I'm sure she thinks. She, again, was always pushing me to be better, to be more on top of things, which is something that I could always use. And then, of course, Amy, who is my intern now and who has done such a wonderful job. Even if you don't know who she is, you don't know her face, she is the one who stuffs the binders, she is the one who gets the PowerPoint ready to go. And so she just is always on top of those little things that make sure that liturgy runs smoothly. And then for, of course, all of the college students, and I see some of you here now, and it's so wonderful to have you. You've given me an opportunity to be in leadership, even when maybe that leadership was not quite where it needed to be, but It's been so wonderful to learn from all of your gifts. We talk about it all the time in the office, where in college I was certainly not at a level of maturity in my faith or in loving each other that you all are. You're an inspiration always to me. And then finally, of course, oh yeah, Sandy Rupp. So I didn't forget you, Sandy. Thank you, Chelsea. Sandy Rupp. So I have to tell you about Sandy Rupp. Sandy Rupp has been my golf buddy. And it has been so wonderful. She and I have spent lots of beautiful mornings out on the golf course, just being with each other, just being present to each other, that time of peace, never of anger or of throwing clubs, always of peace and joy, has always been so wonderful. And then, of course, Chelsea, who I think we need to acknowledge, lets me know when I've forgotten people and all of that. So thank you, Chelsea, for all of the gifts you have given me. I hope it's not too corny to say that there's nothing in my life that is not a better version of what it used to be now because of you being in there. So thank you all very much, and we'll sing a few more songs. Make me a channel of your peace. Make me a channel of your peace. Make me a channel of God. For everything there is a season, a time for meeting, a time to say goodbye. In all things, God is near, always guiding your way. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, may God keep you in the gentle, loving arms of God. For everything there is a season, a time for laughter, a time for tears and pain. In all things, God is near, always guiding your way. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, may you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God. For everything there is a season, a time for loving, a time for letting go. In all things, God is near, always guiding your way. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, upon your face. May the rains fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, may you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God. May you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God. Thank you all so much one more time for coming out tonight. We have one more song, and this is, yes, Amy, you can have it. Sorry. Amy needs music too, quitters. Huh? Oh, that's right, yeah. Keep stepping on that pedal. Thank you all so much for being here. It means a lot to me that you were able to come. Please stop and say goodbye before you leave. I hope I will see you this weekend. Remember, we don't have, this is the announcements portion. Remember that there are no liturgies in this building this weekend. There is one liturgy at Washington Park at 11 a.m. Please bring a picnic for you and your family to share. It'll be a wonderful opportunity for us all to gather together as a community. Did I get the words right? Okay, I got the words right. So yeah, join us at 11 a.m. in the park. I invite you, as you're able, as you want, just let's stand. Let's stand for this last one. grace is found is where you are. Where you are, Lord, I'm free. Holiness is Christ in me. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. So teach my song to rise to you when temptation comes my way. And when I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. Oh, Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Oh, Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. You're my one defense. You're my one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. One more time. You're my one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Thank you.
Again, thank you all for coming and joining us in song tonight. Thomas will be available until approximately 12:30 to sign autographs, so feel free to visit with him as long as you wish. Again, thank you. Have a blessed night, Tom. Thanks for the great music. Good chance to celebrate his community.